As for today, Stormy Daniels set to return to the witness stand this morning, where the defense will continue its cross-examination. On Tuesday, Daniels described a sexual encounter she says she had with Trump in 2006. The judge denied a defense motion for a mistrial after Trump's attorneys called Daniels' testimony unnecessary and prejudicial toward Trump. Prosecutors have indicated they plan to redirect or ask Daniels follow-up questions once the defense wraps up its questioning. Trump denies charges of falsifying business records to hide a $130,000 hush money payment made to Daniels by Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen. The former president also denies any sexual encounter with Daniels. Let's bring in former litigator and MSNBC legal correspondent, Lisa Rubin. All right, Lisa, a little bit of a day off yesterday, back at it this morning. Where do we pick up from where we were on Tuesday?
Well, where we were on Tuesday was sort of a scorched earth cross-examination of Stormy Daniels. But among the subjects touched, guess which one wasn't really touched? Whether or not the episode happened as she described it. So Susan Necheles really going after her for a variety of perceived inconsistencies in her story, and most notably, whether or not in 2011 she had been approached in a parking lot in Las Vegas while she was with her infant daughter and threatened not to reveal more of the story. That was largely a focus of the cross-examination. So one of the things I'll be looking for today is, do they actually return to the story itself and try to counter its veracity, or do they poke around at the margins, trying to make Stormy Daniels seem not credible and focused only on money? I will tell you that at one point they did try to focus on her interest in money, and I thought she got the better of them in this exchange. Question, well, do you recall testifying that you started acting in pornography because you wanted to make more money, right? Answer, correct. Question, and it's that simple. You wanted more money, right? Answer, don't we all want to make more money in our jobs? Question, and that's why you started acting in pornography, right? Answer, to get a pay increase for my dancing, yes. Question, that motivates you a lot in life, making more money, right? And then Stormy Daniels with this classic answer, well, it is the United, that's what we do here. So I'm looking forward to Stormy Daniels sort of giving as good as she gets today. I thought she was a more focused witness on cross-examination. The longer that cross-examination goes on, so long as she can keep her answers tight and her temper in check, I think that makes her more sympathetic to the jury and more credible as well, Willie.
They also tried to get her to sound like someone who has an axe to grind with Donald Trump, and just asked explicitly, do you hate Donald Trump? And she said yes. Does that hurt her in some ways, making it sound like this is some personal vendetta? Well,
she was then asked, and you want to see him go to jail, correct? And she said, I want to see him held accountable. I thought the honesty of the answer was a good thing. To try and hide from that, given the multiplicity of her public statements about her feelings about Trump, you can't really run away from that. So it was good for her to be candid in that moment, and also to focus that hatred on her own experience with him and her pain. That's an encounter that, as we've talked about previously, she understands maybe differently now than she did at an earlier point in time, and certainly maybe differently than we all understood it. You know, this was a late night punchline for many of us for a long time. The Stormy Daniels who came into court on Tuesday, who talked about her sexual encounter with Donald Trump, painted it in a very different light. I wouldn't call it a sexual assault, and neither did she, but it was clear that it was something less than full consent for her and a very painful experience. And so given the hatred was somewhat more explicable.
Yeah, and Lisa, you know, I mean, as far as the jury looking at the witness, you know, getting pushed, did you do this for money? If she said, no, I did it for the art, you know, people... Yes, I did it for the money. Do you hate Donald Trump? Yes, she says. She hates Donald Trump. And there have been some commentators suggesting that somehow the cross-examination hurt her credibility. I think you'd probably agree with me, with the jury looking to try to pick apart somebody's credibility. The fact that she told the truth in both of those cases, as you just said, actually makes the jury go, yeah, all right, for good reason. If somebody did that to me, if somebody called me horse face, if somebody was constantly mocking me on social media, if somebody was ridiculing me and lying about an encounter that we had, yeah, I wouldn't like them. And yeah, we're in America. We want to make more money. She said she wanted to make more money. Seems to me both of those answers that were supposed to undermine her credibility only built it up.
I think that's true. Joe, I will tell you the one place where I think she has significant problems with her credibility is sort of the pendulum swing between not wanting her story to come out in 2011 and by 2016 wanting it to come out. Now, one of those differences is the realization that you could make money from it. And that's not something necessarily to shy away from. But she says that wasn't her motivation. She said that safety was her motivation, that in 2011 she was threatened to be quiet, and she did keep quiet, not even telling her husband about that encounter. But by 2016, she testified, the ballgame had changed. Once he was a major party presidential candidate and not just a reality TV star, she felt that the best way to keep herself safe was to get out in front of the story, make it public so that she was therefore almost untouchable once he was the GOP nominee. Whether or not that story holds up on Continued Cross is going to be interesting to see, because she sort of vacillated about that and whether money was an interest for her. But at the end of the day, what prosecution needs to get out of this is not whether Stormy Daniels passes the beer test, right? That's the test we apply to our presidential candidates. Do you want to have a beer with this person? That's not necessary for a key witness in a trial. They just have to believe that if she came forward in 2016, told the story she told the jury, that would have been hugely damaging to Donald Trump. That's the reason that she's there, and that's what prosecutors want the jury to walk away with.